Well, something really cool just arrived on the farm yesterday, and something I don't know that much about. Actually, my sister-in-law found these on Facebook. Somebody was giving them away for free. So what is this box, this buzzing box? Well, let's take a look inside and check it out. Look at that. So hopefully the camera gives you the view that I have here, and I'll try to get a better shot of them here, at very least at the end of the video. But these are not your average honeybees. This is a bumblebee colony, and what a neat thing. I've never known much about bumblebees, but they play a very important role on the farm. With honeybees being, their natural habitats of honeybees are declining. There's not a lot of natural honeybees out there. There are some, but the colony collapse disorder and other things, pesticides and other farming practices have eliminated a lot of them. And so what we have left is mostly commercial operations for honeybees. And so what ends up doing a lot of pollination is other bugs and other types of bees, the bumblebee being one of them. So you can see the queen here. She's way bigger than the rest of them. And I had no idea that they even lived in a colony like this. They actually do produce honey. You can see they have honey in some of these little, I don't know what you call these, like combs, these little reservoirs in here. The hives are way smaller than a honeybee hive. So there's just, I don't know, maybe a few hundred in here versus thousands and thousands in a honeybee hive. And this entire colony was all born this year. So the only one that will survive through the winter is the queen. And she will actually burrow underground somewhere, survive through the winter, and then she'll come out at the beginning of the spring when it's warm enough and start over. She'll start by making a little nest underground, and then laying a few eggs and starting off with a few workers, and then they'll expand the hive. So this was actually on Facebook for free. A teacher had this for their classroom as like a science type project. They kept it throughout the year. Must have ordered it online. I'll give you the information of this website. I don't know anything about this company, but the website's written on the box here. And they raise this colony up. You feed them. There's like little slots in the side. I'll show you in a minute. We'll feed them some pollen. Comes with pollen, and you feed them, and they survive and multiply and grow the colony here. So really neat little deal. I've never seen bumblebees like this, and there's lots of different species of bumblebees, so I don't know exactly what kind these are, but these are going to make excellent pollinators. So bumblebees actually are better pollinators than honeybees because of the way that they fly. They're known as the bee that scientifically shouldn't fly because of the size of their wings and their body, but they have a very unique way of flying. Their wings kind of like circle like this, and it creates these like little vortices that of lower pressure above them. It's interesting. But because of that, the way that their wings flap and how much vibration and turbulence they make, they actually knock more pollen off of each flower and help pollinate better than a lot of other pollinators do. So these will be excellent out in our pumpkin patch. We already have the honeybees up by our garden, but I don't have a lot of pollinators in the back. So let's take these back to our pumpkin patch in the back hayfield there, and let's get this hive opened up and let these guys out to do some work for us. Just want to show you, this is what they came with. Pollen for bees. Feed 2 times per week after, it must be the first 24 hours or something like that, or after the 24th, I don't know. It must have been the last time they fed them. So it comes with, and this is like cold packs, we kept this in the refrigerator, but it comes with this little bag of pollen. It must have been full, and this is what's left. So a bunch of little pieces of pollen, and I'll show you how we feed them. They actually pull it right through these little vent holes on the top. So let's get a little pinch out here. Just kind of stick it on top of here. They're all coming up there to grab it. Put some on the other side here too. I have no idea how much they should get. I don't know how they get water though. I don't know, do they get the water out of the pollen? Is that where they've gotten, or do they have, maybe there was instructions that came with this that we don't have. They must have had some kind of source of water, I would think. Maybe they do an eyedropper of water here too, I don't know.
I hope the pumpkins are doing all right.
So here's the meat of the pumpkin patch. We've got approximately 1,000 pumpkin plants out here. And you can see they're all flowering. So we've got lots of flowers. Some of the early leaves are starting to die off, which I think is fairly normal, but that's also been pretty dry. So we've got quite a few pumpkins that have started to set, and which is a good thing. We've got a lot of flowers though ready to pollinate in here. There's a few pumpkins though started in here, looking really good. Oh, there's a good one. Nice big one. Another nice one there. Growing out here. Pumpkins coming through. These are looking a little rough, these tomatoes are. It's been really dry and I haven't been able to get enough water out to these things, so hopefully we get some good rain here this weekend. But the sunflowers trick is working. On the ones that grew anyway, something was eating the sunflowers, but you can see the sunflowers popping up here and right next to the tomato plants. And so I can come and just strap the stem right to this stalk, and it'll hold that tomato plant up as these sunflowers grow up. So it's actually supporting them. The ones that have two, the tomato plant's right in the center, and it's actually supporting it on its own without any straps. So I would say that's successful. It's working pretty good. You can see all of them, all the sunflowers growing up in between the tomatoes down there. So we've got a lot of pumpkins out here, but we don't have 1,000 yet, and that's the goal, to get at least 1,000 pumpkins. So let's go ahead and get our Bumble Bee Hive put out here. I'm going to nestle it into the brush along the edge here, point it right towards this patch, and the way that hive is designed, it's got a little door right on the side of it, meant to be open, and they'll come in and out, and they'll live right in that box. It's got a plastic container that they're in with ventilation and stuff, so they should be fine in there. So let's find a nice spot for them and get them tucked in and see how they do. You can see right on the front of the hive here, it has a little door that can be opened. Now, supposedly bumblebees are more docile than some other flying, stinging bugs, but I think they're about the same as a honeybee. So they still can sting, from what I understand, but they shouldn't sting unless you mess with their hive. Well, that's kind of what I'm doing now, so I'm going to open this and kind of step back and get out of the way and see what happens. They're flying everywhere, getting their bearings, and I'm sure that they're going to easily find all the flowers out here. This is going to be great for the pumpkin patch. Now I just need some rain. So definitely an interesting concept, these bumblebees. I never really knew anything about them. I always thought they were just the little individuals that went around. I thought that they were very low numbers. And that might be a different variety of bumblebee, I don't know. But these bumblebees, I mean, there's probably 400 or 500 of them in there. And for a patch this size, they'll take care of this whole patch. that pollination makes a huge difference. It could mean the difference between 500 pumpkins out here and 1,000. So good pollination is important for any garden and any crops. Farmers hire beekeepers every year to put beehives out in their fields. They have known, and people have known for a long time, the importance of that pollination. And so with the collapse of the honeybees, this might be a really good way to go. You know, I'll have to look into the price of these little hives and see if it's worthwhile. I mean, if they're cheap enough to get in the springtime, you know, kind of raise them up and grow them up and then put them out in your various fields, this might be a good way to go. Cheaper, less expensive, quicker way than, you know, building hives and buying all the honeybee equipment and things like that, just to get started. Now, I want to do honeybees around here anyway, so I'll have more hives as the years goes on, but this might be a kind of a quick and easy way to get some pollination done. So we'll keep an eye on these guys. I'll take you along for, of course, how well the pumpkin patch does and how well the little bees do out here in their cardboard box. You know, if it lasts until, I guess it just needs to last until October, November, so just a couple months out here. And so we'll see how it does. But hopefully you guys found it interesting. I did. Bumblebees are pretty cool. Love to hear your comments. What do you think? Thumbs up on the video, as always, makes a huge difference, guys. Just reach down and tap that thumbs up button for me. Subscribe if you want to follow along. We are a new farm out here in Michigan, and we're trying to do things sustainably and naturally and trying to start from scratch out here. So if you'd like to see how that turns out, we'd love to have you follow along. So as always, guys, thanks for watching. Have a good one.